She left her charger on the nightstand. That's how it started. Not a kiss, not a tearful confession, not even a screaming match with a shattered wine glass. Just a charger. Still plugged in, like a piece of her she forgot to pack when she walked out of our life together and into whatever this is now. She said she had a meeting. Just a coffee, she said, with her friend Katie. But Katie had just posted a baby bump selfie from Phoenix, so unless my wife was about to make a 600-mile coffee run, I smelled something off. Like milk left just long enough past its date to give you pause. It wasn't the charger that tipped me off. It was the silence. The kind of silence that knows it's guilty. No check-ins. No follow-ups. Just that nagging absence, the emotional equivalent of an unanswered, "Are you still coming?" text at 9 p.m. But I played it cool. I didn't blow up her phone. I didn't pace. I just sat there on the couch, football on mute, my laptop open but forgotten, watching the little blinking dot move on the GPS app when installed 2 months ago. Now, before you judge me, understand this. I'm not the jealous type. Never was. I was the sure, go out with your friends guy. The text me when you're safe guy. The guy who trusted a little too much for a little too long. Until I noticed patterns. Late nights at the office when the office lights were off. Makeup that only got applied when I wasn't part of the plan. And then, a feeling. That gut-level suspicion that feels like an itch under your skin. No proof, no confrontation. Just a quiet war inside your head. That's why I installed the tracker. Not because I didn't trust her, but because I didn't trust her story. At 5:42 p.m., the dot stopped at a place called Gervais and Stone, an upscale restaurant 2 cities over. Candlelight, private booths, chef's choice, tasting menus. Real anniversary night kind of place. I stared at it like a dog stares at a closed door, hoping for it to swing open and make sense. She told me she was heading to Katie's, remember? Not romantic seafood spot nestled by a fountain. Then, at 7:13, the dot moved again. This time to the Amber Light Suites. No dinner should lead there unless someone's proposing or someone's lying. I didn't follow immediately. That's not who I am. Instead, I opened the app one more time, just to confirm. Still at the hotel. I stood up, not out of rage, just resolve. I didn't need to catch her in the act. I didn't want drama. I didn't want a scene. All I needed were the spare keys. Hers were on the hook, but my backup set? Still in her glove compartment. She always kept them there, ever since that time she locked herself out at Target. So I drove. Calmly. No music, just the hum of the engine and the occasional whisper of a memory that didn't hurt yet, but would. When I pulled up to the hotel, I didn't even park close. I left the car 2 blocks down. I wasn't there for a confrontation, just a quiet exit strategy. The sky was navy blue, the kind of night that hangs heavy, like it knows secrets. I walked up to her car, reached into the glove box, and found them. The keys. And something else. A small bottle of cologne. Not mine. A bold, spicy scent I wouldn't wear if I lost a bet. I didn't react. I just pocketed the keys, shut the glove box softly, and walked away. But as I turned the corner, I saw her. Not alone. And not looking around like she had anything to hide. She was laughing. She touched his arm. That's when it hit me. Not that she was with someone else, but that she looked so comfortable doing it. Like she'd done this before. Like I was the secret, and this was real life. I didn't approach. I didn't wave. I didn't scream. I just kept walking. And as I reached my car and slid into the driver's seat, I realized something strange. I wasn't shaking. I wasn't crying. I wasn't even angry. I was awake. And for the first time in months, I wasn't waiting on her to come home. I started the engine. And I knew the story wasn't over. It was just finally getting honest. She walked in like nothing happened. Not a smudge out of place. Hair done. Breath minty. Like she'd just come from yoga and a peppermint tea. Not a 2-hour escapade at a mid-tier hotel with a man who clearly thought cologne was a personality. It was late, 11:24 p.m., to be exact. I remember the time because I was sitting at the kitchen island with a glass of water and absolutely no appetite, staring at the security feed on my phone like it was a crystal ball. The front door creaked open. She floated in, heels in hand, fake exhausted sigh and everything. "Oh," she said, pretending to be startled by my presence. "You're up." I didn't answer. Just nodded, eyes on her, calm as ever. She walked past me, gave me a peck on the cheek like a vending machine routine. "Katie's was great," she added, voice light, casual. Lost track of time. "Oh, yes." The classic time is a myth defense. "You know Katie's in Phoenix, right?" I said it lightly, like I was reading the weather off my phone. No accusation. No edge. Just data. She froze for a fraction of a second. Then pivot. No, I meant Kayla. I always get those two mixed up. Kayla. The fallback name. The human placeholder. She was good, too good. Rolled it off her tongue like she'd been rehearsing in the rearview mirror between touch-ups. Still, I said nothing. I wasn't ready to blow this open. Not yet. She disappeared into the bathroom and did what all guilty people do when they're trying to look innocent. She brushed her teeth. Twice. Then mouthwash. Like mint could scrub away deception. I stood in the hallway, silent, watching her silhouette in the foggy mirror. She hummed a little, probably from nerves. Some slow, off-key tune she only ever sang when she thought I was asleep. The performance was flawless, if you didn't know what to look for. But I did. Her tells were everywhere now. The nervous energy. The extra care with her skincare routine. The phone flipped face down on the counter every time she set it down. She came to bed wrapped in a towel and lies. Climbed in like we hadn't both arrived at the edge of something sharp and unforgivable. I didn't ask who he was. Not yet. I didn't tell her about the tracker. Or the cologne. Or the message I'd seen when she left her phone unlocked that morning, same room as last time. Can't wait. No, I kept it all inside. I wasn't ready to explode. I was preparing to detonate quietly, precisely, and on my terms. The thing about betrayal is, once you know it's real, you start collecting moments. Like evidence. Every kiss that doesn't land. Every glance that doesn't linger. Every text that comes with a too quick smile. They add up. Quietly. Like water behind a dam. That night, I didn't sleep. I listened to her breathing, steady and soft. I watched the rise and fall of someone who'd built a second life behind my back and thought I'd never notice. But I had a plan now. I wasn't going to confront her. I was going to study her. Map her routines. Catch the cracks in her stories. I wanted to know the truth. Not just feel it. Not just suspect it. And then, I'd decide what kind of exit she deserved. The next morning, she smiled over coffee. Asked if I could pick up dry cleaning on my way to work. Sure, I said. She kissed me. I didn't kiss back. She didn't notice. But I noticed everything. Especially the name on the hotel reservation I found on her tablet later that day. It wasn't a stranger. It was someone I knew. Let me tell you something about betrayal. It doesn't knock. It lets itself in. Like it owns the place. And sometimes, it already does. His name was Jonah. Jonah Moore. Tall. Tan. Laughed too loud at his own jokes. The kind of guy who always wore button-downs with the top two undone. Like he was perpetually 5 seconds from pitching a startup or seducing someone's wife. He wasn't just a name. He was a face. A fixture. A friend, or so I thought. I'd met him at one of those backyard BBQs we hosted every July, back when she still kissed me with her eyes closed. He worked with her, apparently. Just marketing stuff, she'd said casually. We barely interact. Barely interact, except, apparently, when you book the Amber Light Suites under the alias J. Moore. She must have thought she was clever, using a work trip as her cover. I'd given her the benefit of the doubt when she said the conference ran late. I'll just crash at the hotel, she texted that night, complete with a blurry photo of a salad as proof. You know, in case I doubted she was really eating. I didn't reply. Because I was already staring at the same hotel's guest registry, thanks to a little favor from a buddy who managed the front desk. There he was. Jonah Moore. Checked in. Same day. Room for 17. My wife? Registered as a +1. There was no debate anymore. No shadow of suspicion. It was him. Of all the people. He'd been in our living room. Sat on our couch. Drank my bourbon. I'd lent the guy my golf clubs once when he mentioned he was heading out to the course solo. We even talked about taking a trip together, boys' weekend, he'd said with that salesman smile. I had no idea I was already the punchline of their joke. But here's the part that really sealed it. I remembered a night, about 2 months back, when I got home late from work. The house was quiet. Too quiet. She was in the kitchen with someone on speakerphone, laughing. I caught a snippet as I dropped my keys. She said, "You're such a bad influence." Then a man's voice replied, "Only for you, babe." I walked in, and she scrambled to end the call. "Just Katie," she said. We were being silly. Katie. Again. The alibi of the century. I played dumb. Smiled. Asked what was so funny. She changed the subject. Asked if I wanted leftover pasta. I did. I wanted answers more, but I had to wait. And now I had them. I sat in my car, parked across from the restaurant where they first met. Watch the way she smiled when Jonah touched her wrist. Not a work friend kind of touch. The kind that lingers. The kind that says, I've been here before. And I wasn't angry. Not anymore. That's the strange part. It's not fury that gets you, it's clarity. That moment when the truth settles in your chest like a final puzzle piece. And suddenly everything that used to hurt just clicks into place. I didn't confront them. Not then. I waited until the next morning. She was humming again. Making eggs. Like she wasn't wearing a lie on her skin like perfume. Hey, I said, pouring my coffee. Who's Jonah Moore? Her hand paused. Just for a split second. Barely noticeable, but I noticed. He's someone from work. Why? I shrugged. Just saw his name come up on a receipt. Thought it sounded familiar. She nodded. Too fast. Yeah, nothing important. That was the moment I knew she'd lie with a straight face until the day she died. With clean clothes, bright smiles, and a murder weapon made of omission. I let it go. For now. Because if she wanted to play it quiet, she had no idea who she was playing with. Ever watch a storm roll in from a distance? You see the dark clouds gathering miles away, slow and steady. The wind shifts. The birds disappear. And deep in your gut, something tells you, this won't pass quietly. That's how it felt, standing in the parking lot across from the same hotel for the second time in 1 week. The Amber Light Suites. Sleek glass. Valet parking. Complimentary breakfast and complimentary lies. Jonah's car was already there. Parked in the back. Not the flashy type. A mid-range SUV with tinted windows and a sticker that read, support local artists. Poetic, really, considering what he was doing to the gallery of my life. She told me she had a late brainstorm session. That's how she phrased it. Might be late. Don't wait up. Sure, babe. I'll just sit here with my popcorn and my fully charged GPS app. At 7:03 p.m., her dot landed at the same place again. She wasn't even trying to mix it up. Just rinse and repeat. I guess deception gets easier the more you practice. I parked on the edge of the lot. Hood up. Cap pulled low. I looked like someone killing time on a conference call. But I wasn't on the phone. I was on a mission. 10 minutes later, the side door opened. There she was. Hair down, makeup light, but just enough. The kind of effort she used to reserve for our anniversary dinners. And walking beside her, close, too close, was Jonah. They didn't touch. Not out here. But you could feel it. The electricity. The kind that doesn't belong in a platonic outlet. She said something. He laughed, head tilted back like he was auditioning for a toothpaste commercial. Then he leaned in. Said something close to her ear. She blushed. That broke me more than the first hotel receipt ever could. Because that was the look she used to save for me. I didn't storm in. Didn't scream or make a scene. No viral video. No shattered dishes. That's not how you handle something this fragile. You don't smash the mirror. You let them see themselves in it. So I waited. Waited until they went inside, hand in hand now that they were safe behind the frosted lobby glass. Then I pulled out my phone and opened the folder. Photos. Screenshots. Dates. Times. GPS logs. Even a voicemail he'd left her by accident once, not realizing she never deleted anything from the cloud. In it, he called her his secret sunshine. A Hallmark villain in real time. I uploaded it all to a private drive, labeled for her eyes only. Then I composed the email. Simple. Clean. Just a subject line. So this is what love looks like? No message. Just a link. I scheduled it to send the next morning at 9:01 a.m. Right as she'd be settling into her team meeting, sipping her oat milk latte. But I wasn't done yet. I drove home, went to her bedroom, and took my time. I packed every item she'd left carelessly strewn around the house, her curling iron, her perfume bottle shaped like a diamond, her favorite hoodie she never let me wear. Boxed them up neatly. Taped the lid. Labeled it with one word. Returned. Then I drove back to the hotel. Parked in her spot. And left the box on the hood of her car, dead center, with the receipt from our anniversary dinner 6 months ago taped on top. The one where she toasted to forever. It was folded into the shape of a heart. Petty? Maybe. But poetic? Absolutely. 9:03 a.m. Her call came in right on time. And I let it ring. No decline. No answer. Just the cold, digital loop of her name vibrating on my screen. Ashley, surrounded by all the things she thought I didn't know. That was the moment I became someone new. Not bitter. Not broken. Just done. She called again. And again. Then she texted. What is this? Where did you get those photos? Can we talk? Please. Please. The word people say for after they're caught. Funny how fast that word comes out once the fantasy slips and real life steps back in with receipts and high-resolution evidence. I watched the read receipts pile up like dominoes. The shared folder I sent her? She opened every single item. 2 photos got viewed multiple times. The one of her kissing Jonah in the elevator reflection? That one probably hit hardest. She forgot the mirrors in those old hotels don't lie. Not the way she does. At 10:11 a.m., she left me a voicemail. I didn't listen, but I saved it, just in case I ever want to hear how guilt sounds when it's desperate and 2 days too late. I spent the morning sipping black coffee and updating my will not because I was dying, but because I realized I had a lot to live for. And none of it included her anymore. My lawyer called around noon. The draft was ready. The post-nup I'd had him quietly draw up months ago, just in case, was going to be delivered to her office via courier by 2 p.m. Why did I have a post-nup? Because part of me knew. Not at first, but over time. The late nights. The missing laughter. The eyes that looked through me like I was a smudge on a window. So I got ready. Quietly. Legally. The agreement was simple. Infidelity voids any claim to joint assets. No payout. No alimony. Just a clean break and an Uber to whoever's bed she lands in next. And yes, she signed it. 6 months ago. With red lipstick and a wink. Just paperwork, she'd said. Turns out, it wasn't just paperwork. It was freedom, sealed in ink and ignorance. By 3:37 p.m., her assistant left a message asking if I was feeling okay. Apparently, Ashley had left the office mid-meeting in what could only be described as an emotional event. I didn't respond. I wasn't in the business of giving closure to people who used my loyalty like a doormat. Instead, I went to the storage unit I'd rented the week before. The one with no memories in it. No lies baked into the walls. Just space. I unpacked a few boxes. Hung up 2 shirts. Put a lamp on the end table. It was small, but it was mine. At 5:12 p.m., she texted again. I didn't mean for it to happen this way. You've been distant too. Can we at least talk? Yes. Mutual blame. The last refuge of a cheater caught mid-act. I typed out a reply, then deleted it. She didn't need words from me. She needed silence. The same silence she gave me when I sat across from her at dinner, trying to fix a marriage that she'd already sold for scraps behind my back. The same silence she used to hum and laugh while texting him on the couch next to me. So I gave her that. Silence. Echoing. I see. Deafening. Because nothing says, I'm not yours anymore, quite like a phone that doesn't ring back. I heard the knock before I saw her. 3 soft taps. Not frantic. Not aggressive. Just calculated. Like someone trying to sound gentle while standing in the ruins they built. I didn't move right away. Let her stand there. Let her feel it. The delay. The silence. The exact weight of what it means to knock on a door that used to open automatically and now waits. Then I walked over, slow and steady. Pulled the curtain back just enough to see her face. Ashley. Standing there in a sleek trench coat, rain starting to kiss her shoulders. A sad little bouquet in her hands. Like apology could be folded between stems and petals. She looked up. Saw me. Her mouth moved before the door did. Logan, please. That voice. The one that used to call me babe. That used to ask if I wanted another cup of coffee on Sunday mornings. Now it sounded thin. Brittle. I opened the door 2 inches. No more. She blinked like she wasn't expecting to see me at all. Like she was preparing for voicemail and voicemail only. She began, tightening the flowers against her chest. I didn't know where else to go. I nodded, slowly. Then said, you shouldn't have come here. Her lips parted. You won't even talk to me? I am talking. Just not saying what you want. She looked down. Rain dripping from her sleeves. I made a mistake. Logan. You made a plan, I corrected. Mistakes happen once. Plans need logistics, room numbers, and overnight bags. She flinched. That one landed. I ended it, she said quietly. With him. Jonah. It's over. Good, I said. Now you're free to figure out who you are without pretending it's my fault. Her eyes searched mine. You really hate me that much? I shook my head. No. Hate takes energy. I'm finally spending mine on something better. Don't you want to know why I did it? She whispered. No, I said simply. I used to. But now? I know enough. You chose you. And now I'm choosing me. She started crying then. Not loud. Not dramatic. Just the slow, tired kind of tears that roll down when someone realizes the game board isn't resetting this time. I loved you, she said. I believed you, I replied. The two aren't the same. I pushed the door open just a bit wider, not to invite her in, but to hand her the envelope I'd already sealed the night before. Her name written in bold on the front. Inside, a copy of the postnup, the official filing paperwork, and a letter from my attorney. She took it like it burned. I thought we could fix it, she said. We could have, I replied. But you wanted fireworks, and I gave you foundation. Turns out, you got bored watching something stable. She opened her mouth, maybe to argue, maybe to beg. I'll never know. Because I closed the door. Softly. Final. Not out of anger. Out of peace. On the other side, I stood there for a long second, breathing in the quiet. It didn't ache. Not anymore. Because you don't grieve a person who's still alive. You grieve the version of you that kept trying to love them. 3 weeks passed. No texts. No calls. Well, that's not true. She sent them. I just didn't read them. I turned off read receipts. Let her messages float unanswered like balloons in a windless sky. I figured if she wanted closure, she could find it in the silence she once gave me. But I didn't just disappear. I rebuilt. I joined a gym. Reconnected with people I hadn't seen in years. Started volunteering Saturdays at a veteran shelter. I cleaned out my emotional garage and found there was more room inside me than I ever realized. And then, I did something unexpected. I planned a dinner party. Not a petty one. Not a parade of rebound dates or flexing rented happiness. Just a small, quiet gathering. Real people. Real peace. I invited close friends, the ones who stood by me when the truth hit like a sledgehammer. A few new faces, too. People who didn't know Ashley. Who didn't see me as the guy who got cheated on. Just the guy who made a killer grilled salmon and liked classic jazz. But I didn't invite her. Which was, in a way, the loudest thing I could have done. See, we used to throw parties like this together. She'd fuss over centerpieces and playlists. I'd man the grill and pretend I didn't care about napkin colors. For years, that was our dance. So not inviting her wasn't revenge. It was release. That night, around 9:30, I stepped outside onto the balcony with a drink in hand, laughter spilling from the living room behind me, and for the first time in a long time, I felt whole. The phone buzzed in my pocket. A new text. Ashley. I drove by. I saw the lights. I remember when that used to be us. I didn't respond. Some ghosts don't deserve answers. They always come back. Not for love. For relief. To rinse off the shame. To hear you say, it's okay, so they don't have to sit with the echo of what they did. Ashley showed up again, this time in a beige sweater, no makeup, and that look. I'm sorry, but also please make me feel better, look. I've been going to therapy, she said, standing on the porch with a notebook clutched to her chest. They say I'm avoidant. That I sabotage when I feel unworthy. I nodded. Good. I hope it helps. I thought maybe you'd want to talk. I don't. Simple. Clean. She bit her lip. You don't even want to know what I've learned about myself? No, I said. Because I spent years trying to understand you. Now I'm learning me. She blinked. Jonah left, she said. There it was. That stray thread in the apology. The quiet, desperate hope that maybe I'd feel sorry for her again. That maybe being abandoned made her more human, less cruel. But I didn't take the bait. I'm sorry that hurts, I said. She stepped forward. Do you think maybe one day we could try again? I smiled softly, not smugly. Ashley, I used to set myself on fire to keep you warm. I don't do that anymore. Her eyes welled. But I didn't flinch. She finally turned to leave. And as her car pulled away, I didn't feel triumph. I felt closure. If I could say one final thing to her. I wouldn't scream. I wouldn't curse. I wouldn't even ask why. I'd say this. You broke something I spent years building with calloused hands and sleepless nights. Not the relationship. Me. And still, I forgive you. Not because you deserve it, but because I do. Because carrying hate is like drinking poison hoping the other person dies. And I'm done with poison. You taught me how to spot lies behind a smile. How to recognize when someone loves the idea of you but not your reality. You taught me what not to accept. So thank you. For leaving. Because I didn't lose you. I found me. They say revenge is a dish best served cold. But peace? Peace is served quiet. No dramatic send-off. No big speech in the rain. Just quiet mornings, clean sheets, black coffee, and a calendar with no lies circled on it. I didn't key her car. Didn't post screenshots. Didn't destroy her life. I just left. Left the relationship. Left the house. left the version of me that kept trying to fix what she kept breaking. Some nights I still hear echoes. Her laugh, her perfume in the hallway of memory. But they don't haunt me. They remind me of who I was and how far I've come. I don't know who needs to hear this, but if someone broke you and then asked you to build them a chair so they could sit and explain why, you don't owe them the wood. You don't owe them the nails. You owe them nothing. Let them stand. Let them learn. Because peace isn't something they hand you with an apology. It's something you build. And brother, I've built mine.